perfectionist, if that's the word I would use, and you don't you easily get tired when you're not getting the results you wanted. So first I'll ask in that aspect, what was the extra thing you did that made you break free? Because from the beginning of the story, you were more of a chef and quantity surveyor and all that part, not necessarily content creation. So I believe today we have, this is the 21st century, and to break free that brought you out there, right? And then secondly, you have a lot of chefs as mentors, online and physically. So most of them out there that broken the records.
Thank you for your question. We'll start from the last one. One thing that I've done personally is, I've hosted a few classes as I could possibly do, and also I respond to people as much as possible. Anybody that comes to text me and all that, random messages or some random meetings for doing picture, and also in my own little way, I think I've been able to do that for as many people that could reach out to me, and also kind of posts I put out sometimes. It's also inspiration also. And to your second question, what keeps me going is
because for you to be able to generate your rate card, that's motivation. What would you create?
Okay, yeah. Number one, I will not try to sugarcoat it. Number one, what kept me going is the growth. My growth was rapid. Yeah, so I started my page from zero, like I had 0 followers, and then in about 2 months, I was already getting to like 10K. So if by chance I was doing 6 months and I was doing like 1K, I was like, somebody can have it that way. But while I was doing that, I didn't even know certain things I was doing that were right, that were leading me to that certain things will help your growth in this online space. Number one, people, attention span is just very limited. Nobody cares basically. Everybody's just looking for what to entertain them, what to inspire them, what to so one thing I'll be able to understand that when you are putting yourself out there, you should be able to answer 3 questions. Is your post inspiring somebody? Is your post entertaining somebody? And is your post educating? If you check some of the 6 in your Instagram or something, or some of the pages that you are following, you rather to one of these boxes, and then somehow gradually you will find that community that will relate to whatever it is that you are doing. That's basically it about that.
Okay, what's the question about motivation and we are kind of
and then consistency. Consistency doesn't mean that we are posting every day, but there should be a track that everybody are posting 4 times, but if you are starting out, as much as possible to be more frequent, because that way you'll be able to gather more attention to yourself. And also you should try to look for something that is natural to you here, and not so some people say, you don't copy anybody, but one thing I want to understand that there's nothing that is new basically on the internet. There's no recipe that's just from nowhere. Somebody just creating something from nowhere or something. So something you also do is look at somebody that is doing something great, so that's not like what you want to do. You can watch the steps and then create something that you might not necessarily copy everything like that, but look at what you can do differently from what the person is doing, and they show. Like for example, one post one content I was doing then, I was that got me a lot of followers then was this content where somebody meets somebody on the road, and then we cook for them. Like somebody or like several pages that have been doing it on, on the internet. Like, so I just started my own in my own way, and somehow gradually, I was looking for how I can do it in my own way, and then it was working out. So just look for your own needs and just develop on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Roland. My question, back to my question. So, I think early this week or last week in the house, we had a debate in the house. Being a specialist chef or being a versatile chef. So basically, what me understood by being a specialist chef is like the last week, having an issue with yourself. So, I mean, my question now is, would you rather a chef that carve the dish for himself, or be someone that can do everything and not necessarily as like the specialty on what it does? Like, what do you think is best as a chef?
Thank you. I would say be good at everything, but be excellent at one thing. It will get you in better places. For example, somebody can meet me and be like, oh, can you do this? Before I will answer no, it will mean that maybe that thing requires some technicality that maybe is beyond you. But somehow the knowledge I've been able to acquire, that I can always apply that knowledge into whatever it is I want to do, that um, um, that will get me the result. So sometimes it might not go well. You might fail at it at the first time. Like for example, somebody said I should make some Chinese cuisine stuff and all of that. I have not done anything like that at that time, and I failed woefully. That was the first time that somebody would tell me that, oh my, I mean, so I have this thing about myself where nobody can tell me my food is bad, because before I give it to you, I didn't know the state that it is. So if you tell me, oh, the food is bad, I didn't know that, okay, probably this is what is wrong with it, right? So their experience made me understand that, okay, I've made this mistake in this time. I know what to do better. I don't necessarily turn down requests on something that is not, I'm not very good at it. I can rather maybe outsource and then learn from the person at that moment, or also, try to do it also and then get better at it. So there's no, don't limit yourself and be like, okay, wow, this is the only thing I want to be doing. And like for example, I want to be, there's something that I only does good at pastries. They can cook, bake very beautiful cakes, but you don't necessarily like to do the whole cooking thing. But it shouldn't mean that you shouldn't know how to do it. So be good at everything, but be excellent at everything.
Good afternoon, Chef Kula. I am Chef Otito. I like to see you encourage and advising us. I really enjoyed it and I liked it. Thank you very much. I have a question for you. As a deaf chef, what you post most times, I can't understand it. I would like you to always subtitle it for us so I can learn and other deaf chefs can learn. We have international deaf chefs as well that seeing me do this, they start going to culinary schools, and knowing that there is limitation in Nigeria with the disability discrimination, what can you or what will you be doing for us? Since I am meeting you today, what will you do for us?
Wow, so the first time I think I saw a video on their page and I'm like, oh wow, this is actually a thing. And that's question about, I was asking us about discrimination. We discriminate against people with disabilities. For example, you are setting up a conference for disabled people in quotes, and then you only have staircases to the place. There are no racks that they can pass through. So this point that she's actually making, I'm very guilty of it. Sometimes I just want to post, and I'm very lazy to subtitle whatever it is I've done. And forgetting that you have a larger audience, you have people that not necessarily be able to um, um, hear whatever it is they're saying. So today I'm taking that as a challenge also to put it as a point of concern to what is the word now? To correct that part of my content creation post, and make sure that people that have such disabilities, not only hearing or disability, they can be able to relate to the post, and that way also you're not also limiting yourself. For example, certain times I like to watch videos without the audio, or sometimes you might not even be able to listen to the audio because maybe you're outside or something. But if there's a subtitle, you can always still relate to the video, and that way, you have a larger reach and all of that. So thank you for pointing out that part, and I'll definitely work on that on myself. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chef Poland.
Good
Thank you
afternoon.
so much for making our time to be in our midst. And it was, a time well spent. I mean, the past couple of minutes have been very impactful, and I have watched you closely for a couple of months now, and not long anyway. And I like the kind of content you put out, but I like the angles and croppings and those things and the lighting and all that. So, like you mentioned that you were shadow following Rex at some point, and you were hoping that it would one day be a mentor, right? To you. So now mine is not a question. Mine is saying thank you for coming. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to meet you. At least now I no longer have to stalk you in your DM. Would you mind holding our hand, holding my hand, and showing me the way you do it now and here? Yes or yes? Thank you very much, Chef Poland. Thank you, ma'am, for coming. My name is Andy Street, and I'm a chef patisserie, and I decided to niche down to the healthy treat aspects of things.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. But I've not seen your DM.
You say what?
You didn't send me a DM.
No, I've not sent a DM. I'm saying that opportunity comes but once. Now I am seeing you. I don't necessarily need to stalk in your DM. I am shooting my shot by saying, kindly hold my hands and show me how you do it. Thank you, Chef.
So we'll have like a session today. We'll make something and then we try to teach in our own way and see. I mean, you can't learn it in one day, but I mean, just a few tips here and there can make you a better artist.
So, I saw in your everything you told us, I saw that you didn't give us a room for monetization when it comes to content creation.
I was going to talk about it's wild. So monetization, So first thing first, I would say don't go into content creation with the mind of, oh, I want to make money. Yes, the money will come eventually, not immediately. But if you go into the mind that I want to make money fast, you burn out quickly, right? Like I said, for the first 6 months, from January to June, I didn't make any money. In fact, the first month itself was like 250 or something. Right. So we in Africa here or Nigeria, we are a bit disadvantaged, right? When you are posting on Instagram is not paying you. They're posting on YouTube, yeah, it's YouTube page. But you see, to grow on YouTube, it requires you are going to take it like a 9 to 5 job. You're going to be posting back to back every day to get that traction, to get that limit where they can start, paying you, and it requires a lot of work. You spend a lot of money. But when the payments start coming, I mean, you're going to be able to, enjoy it. Like, for example, also Facebook, I think Facebook pays, but it's also not great right now. And TikTok also pays and all that. But that's one part of it. Another part is brand endorsement, right? The brands reach out, so I want you to use our product, and I want you to, advertise and all of that. That's another way to make money. Brand sponsorship and brand deals. So like for me now, I do I I do so I'm currently like I'm a private chef, so I do 1 or 2 events. I do food photography and videography. So a client or a brand can reach out to can you make a video for us using our products or make pictures. So take pictures of our food. So I can earn from that also. I can also earn from food styling. So I've worked with a couple of brands. Yeah, that's also a niche that is not all out there. We don't have so many food stylists in Nigeria here. So we have food photographers and we have food stylists. Not every food photographer can be a good food stylist or can be a food stylist. In fact, so sometimes, or more often than not, most of all these adverts that you see, there was a photographer and there's a stylist. Me myself, I double as both. I can do both. Not everybody can do that. So I can earn as in some jobs I go there as the only the stylist, but only just adjust the plates, adjust everything, and then the photographer takes the picture. Or sometimes I do both. I take the picture and also start. So that's another way to make money as well. So you should not just limit yourself to, because sometimes there's that moment where it look like everywhere is just dry, no brand is reaching out, right? So there's that period everywhere, every now and then. For example, this is coming to the end of the year, there's so many brands that want to do this, promote that. You always get that. But there are certain times in the year that nobody is doing anything, and then what I end up with is what you don't limit yourself to only earning from brands, and because it will come eventually. When it comes to it's very massive. But the times that are not there, so you venture into other things, right? So the monetization does not come very quickly, but when it comes, it's very rewarding. Like very, very, very rewarding. The person that puts me in the know basically what's her name? Diary of a Kitchen Lover. Like we sat down one day and then she was like, the way he spoke, like like she was not even mentioned, but see, this thing there is money in it. Right there and there, somebody called her and they're like, oh, they're offering so amount for you to post for 3 months, and whatever it is that he has to do, he's not going to spend 20% of the money they are going to pay her to do. So like this day, just make sure you put yourself out there, and the money will get eventually. When she was telling me that was around December of that year, I started in January, and then it took me 6 months before I got my first one. Gradually, keep on. I would say the most difficult was, like I said, it took me 6 months before I earned my first pay from anything on the internet. And then, prior to that time, I was not necessarily working as such. I won't take away the place of support, right? Ask someone that necessarily like, okay, take this into account, whatever I do, just make it, right? There's that place of support as well because I was not working for that 6 months and I was not earning money. So how could I have been able to uh, put it out there? So that was the very first challenge, right? Getting enough money to be able to um, put yourself out there. Like you said you are a consultant and all of that. So you, if that is what you find passion in, and uh, what you can do best, you can also still put yourself out there that way. Like for example, you talk about maybe do's and don'ts, that so restaurants, like you are putting out educative content. So that way you're not necessarily spending, but you are still giving out value. And also you just still have to put yourself out there, right? So it's not everything that has to be, like for example, the whole content creation, food content creation space is saturated. Everybody is posting. Today you can scroll on Instagram and somebody, 3 or 4 people posting the same recipe. Somebody is making fried rice, somebody is making another kind of fried rice, and all of that. Nobody is necessarily, there's no recipe basically that is not online at this moment. So how you can put your do it differently, or not necessarily just posting like, oh, how to make today, I want to teach you how to make. Sometimes those videos still go viral and all that. And also don't necessarily uh, make a post. I'm also guilty of this. I'm like, if I post this thing, I might not necessarily get so much traction and all of that. And if you're hell bent on that, you will not make any progress. You just all angry with yourself, like, and you don't have control over how people interact with your posts. Like, so sometimes when some of my posts don't do well, I look at it in such a way that I also, there are several throughout the whole day, I look at how many posts have I liked or commented in a day. So I don't blame anybody when they don't necessarily comment. But if you are looking at that, you don't necessarily want to. So that was one of the challenges I also had at some point. I was like, these people are not commenting, they are not engaged in hair. But don't necessarily look at that alone, because if not, you not find happiness within yourself. So just do whatever it is, and whatever comes out of it is a plus. Yeah, but also your passion might not necessarily feed you at the time, but look for something that will feed you passion while you are working on the passion.
Good afternoon, Chef.
Good afternoon.
My name is Chef Mimi. You say you're a private chef.
Yeah.
One of the big bosses in the industry. So I'm also a private chef, a baby chef in the industry. I want to know how it's juggled between jobs, being a private chef, being a food stylist, photographer, and the challenges you face. Also, content creation. Sometimes if I'm cooking for my friends, content is one thing I find so much interesting. Around it, any advice you can give to somebody about it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there are certain times that I get jobs that definitely take a shoot in Lekki phase 1, shoot for in Lekki phase 1, and then and I just told them that I was coming. Quickly go down to that, and I spent like 1 hour, 30 minutes or something. They were calling me and all that, I was coming and all of that, which is so. That day was a it was close to getting real because these other people were already calling me. This one was already waiting that I should have already been there and all of that. And you know the distance between here and Aja and Lekki Station. So thank God that day there was no traffic or and I was able to drive through. But sometimes those kind of clashes might happen and you'll not be able to um, 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 shuffle both. So I think one thing I would say is scheduling your your time properly and like okay if this is if like for example if I'm taking a job right now I'll make sure that I'm not taking another one that will necessarily clash with that. So also the point of making videos. So as a content creator you have that mind that everything is content. If not, if you have to wait until you have the perfect conditions or maybe you have perfect lights, perfect distance to make content, you will not necessarily make anything. Some clients will not allow you camera in their kitchen and making food and all that, which is very normal. Some that will allow it. So by practice though, I've been able to have a tripod. There's a way you can set the tripod while you're doing your thing. You don't even need to touch it. You have like a remote control where the tripod is positioned somewhere and then just sometimes you are not necessarily taking the video or picture of the process of what you are making. Sometimes it's just your movement or you are chopping this or you are just tossing this. You just want to just show short clips or whatever it is, or it's just the final, sometimes it's just the final product that you want to show, right? You just create those moments. Don't let those moments. So for example now, I'm cooking this very expensive meal for this client and then I look at it that I cannot allow this thing to waste food. I don't necessarily need to show how I made the food. I can just show my just little clips of me making the food or the final product of the food. Just make like a can or pictures. That way I've created content from that particular food. So you need that like you need like a gadget like tripod, something that will make it will not be nice where you are handling food and at the same time you are going to go and be pressing your phone and also you cannot say you want to employ somebody to be shooting you while you are cooking. So that way, so think about it that everything is content, right? So from a cooking session, you can get like 3 different content. One, you can get the full recipe video. You can get like a funny reel from it. Like for example, you mistakenly touch your spots or something and then maybe like you know how our mothers can really take things that are hot so you can just create something funny from that, or you take like short clips of the finished foods and then you can then collect it together and then just form like a reel or something like that. So just make something out of anything that you have and I think it will work well.
Another question, and then one question as well.
I've had the client that said, I don't know if she's completely vegan or she does it for anyhow. She said she wanted something, and then when I started making it, she said, she wants something. I'm trying to ask, how you been able to manage some overbearing clients that will tell you, oh, I'm vegan and tomorrow she's drinking milk, and then all of that. And then when you present your menu or timetable to them, to cater for their vegetarian or vegan food, and then they start changing it, making you work over time, trying to create new menus. Also, in case you are, the job is too much for you, you need someone to every time.
Well, there's one thing that we need to learn ourselves also is because you are going to relate to people a lot. You are going to relate with a lot of people. We need to have emotional intelligence, right? There's that thing that you say customers are always right, but sometimes some people are always crazy. But as much as possible, you cannot shout at them and cannot change it from right. So you will so you try to understand the situation. Like, okay, for example, the client says it's bigger. You will your own point, your own part is to advise and okay, see this is okay. For example, if we have like a timetable, like okay, we have agreed that this is what we are going to do today, or this is our agreement. So just come from the common ground. Okay, if you want to change this, you just have that mutual conversation and also be able to be firm with whatever it is that your decisions. Like for example, you are okay. Some clients will be like, okay, so from your time to work is just from a particular time to another. So sometimes they can have like a guest, and you now have to extend your this thing. Now an agreement that okay, if I'm going to extend my stay here, or there's going to be an extra pay, or I'm going to make, or if I'm going to make extra meals. Like for example, you have to make only for 2 people or 3 people, and then all of a sudden you are coming and then you're saying 10. All of that, that's more extra work, right? So you should be able to be fair and be like, okay, this was the agreement before now, and then we just have to come to an agreement with compromise. Sometimes you take would I say you take the bruises. It's not every time that it's like you take the loss. It's not every time that you get on the this, but you just okay, from each situation you learn that okay, this is what not to do better. For example, when I first started, I had a problem with budgeting. I will not necessarily go back and check that okay, this is the actual cost of each thing. I'll just gauge, and then at the end of the day I realize that it's not going to. I cannot go back and say the money is not enough. I have to do the job and regardless. So that way, I take my time, check whatever it is that needs to be checked. Don't assume that okay, this is matter is supposed to be 200 the market. Get there now, you see that it is 500 naira. What do you want to do? So take your time, budget, be sure, and then I'm not working for free now. So give yourself a good pay. So, no problem. Yes, definitely. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for coming today. I was so happy personally when I had the content creation. I was like, at least whatever it is that happened today, there will be a plus in my life. I need it a push for me. I don't know how it goes today. It's not a push, it's a play. I need a push because I really enjoy watching like Chelsea, they make their practical teaching online. I enjoy watching all those things. But me doing it, that's not a problem. The last time I tried doing a content, I ended up doing selfie videos with chess. I couldn't do anything. So I really need to push for me.
Oh well.
Many Israels do for you.
The only person that can push you is still you. So the only thing I can personally do is, for example, you do something like, okay, this is what I made. You can send it to me, and then I'll be like, okay, this is what you can do better. This is how you can do it. I cannot, even if I woke up to your kitchen and help you shoot today, tomorrow, you still have to do the work. So the only thing I can do is, okay, I'll teach you, okay, this is how you can do it, this is the angle you should take, all that. All these people that you mentioned, they didn't just nowadays they don't necessarily have to shoot for themselves again. People shoot for them. But when, like for example, Chelsea has had to do, she was doing 9 to 5, she come back at night, shoot content, and then there was a period where she shot content for a whole period for a class and everything. At the end of the day, after doing everything, I think the power got corrupted or she lost everything. You have to shoot everything from the beginning, that kind of thing. So it requires, I don't know, like it requires a lot of work. Shooting, for example, I shoot sometimes by myself. Imagine, okay, something you have to make noise. This is not supposed to take you 30 minutes. But when you want to shoot, it can take you 1 hour, 30 minutes. So you have to put in the work, no matter what it is.
Any other question?
plus spicy sauce noodle. Thank you very much, spicy sauce noodle. We really appreciate your comment. On behalf of everyone here, we say thank you for making our time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Super Chef.
Hello, Poland.
Hello, Super Chef.
I was waiting for you to tell them to stop, but you refused. Head chef, make arrangement so Poland can show you how to create some content.
Super Chef. Thank you. Super Chef.
I want to shawarma yesterday.
What are we making? Shower. Okay, bring
Don't spoil your mind.
Headshots. Get apron. For Poland.
this side of this